And we're live.
But I actually had what I thought was a near-death experience. So I was actually kind of relieved knowing I thought I saw my end, right? And so this is what I'll tell you the story. So the other, probably about 2 or 3 months ago, I had an anxiety attack. And I had never had an anxiety attack. I thought people that had anxiety attacks were just like, just stop, whatever, stop thinking about it. No, it's actually something that actually affects you physically. I had no idea. So what happened? I was sitting on my bed and all of a sudden I got shortness of breath, couldn't breathe, and my heart started pounding out of my chest. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I trying to gain my breath, trying to, and then I finally told my girls, like, yo, you gotta call somebody. This is real. And and as she's on the phone with them, she's talking to them. She's relaying messages, and then you get even more worked up. And then my hands started going numb, my feet started going numb, and it started locking up. And I'm like, oh, I'm having a heart attack. In my mind, I'm like, oh, I'm having a heart attack. I'm gonna die. And so in that moment, in my head, I'm like, oh, this is what life flashing before your eyes is. And so like I thought about my kids. I was like, oh shit, I'm not gonna get to see them again. But like not once was I like, there's a God. Like that was kind of when it all settled. I was like, that's a cool feeling that thinking I was about to die. I was kind of at peace, just like I was like, shit, I'm not gonna see my kids, but like, yo, this is it. I looked at her, I was like, yo, I love you. Like, this is it. Like, I love you. Like, it was an insane feeling that it's hard to describe, but knowing that you can go at peace it's a great feeling, man.
Was there a root cause to your anxiety attack, or is there no real understanding of how it came on?
I've seen a couple people about it, and I guess the best possibility the best explanation we came up with was that I've retired, and I'm like 2 years into my retirement, and I've been so on the go. Like I've done so much stuff, like with my album, with my podcast, with all my side business ventures. Like I've never been more busy in my life. That on top of like a lot of past family issues kind of accumulated over years, and I've kind of took the brunt of a lot of it. And I'm never been one of those cats to kind of like verbally express how I feel. I kind of just like, it's not a big deal. And so, I still feel like that. So I'm unsure if that is a huge variable in it, but I think all of that stuff together, just years and years of kind of packing stuff in, kind of just came out. Maybe, I don't know.
Is that the only one you've ever had?
Yeah, it's the only one I've ever had. Yeah.
Man, I get about 2 or 3 a year, and they vary in intensity. A really bad one, I go full unconscious and pass out and hit the ground. That's happened 4 times, I would say, roughly in my life. A really light one, I sense it coming on because I get the tingling. I start seeing like stars. Like, if you stand up too quickly, sometimes you kind of see stars a little bit. I get that. I break into a cold sweat, and I've got to go into like a breathing exercise to like a Lamaze class or something to like calm myself and like get myself oxygenated, I guess, and sit down and like I'll recover from it. And then there's like a mid ground where like I'll black out for a moment and like fall down, and then but I'm still semi-conscious. It's a fucking nightmare. And I felt really embarrassed about it when I was a kid, and it would happen because it would happen in inopportune times, right? Like you'd be trying to stand up to a bully and your body's giving up on you and you look like a pussy. It's the worst. And then I remember watching The Sopranos. Suck. Yeah, like I'm here to stand up. Like I'm ready to do this.
Did that happen once where you're confronting a bully? I don't think you've ever told that.
Yeah. I had this guy had.
How old are you?
10th grade, so
about
maybe
16,
15, 16, something like that. And this guy's much bigger than me, and he's likes to fight guy, as Jim Rome would say, and likes to fight guy, and it's like. And he's also a big bully, right? He's just a jerk. He's an asshole. And he's been giving me shit for a while. And finally, I'm like, I'm ready to take an ass whooping and maybe hit this guy a couple times. And this is going to be it. I'm tired of living every day in a little bit of fear of this guy and trying to avoid him and everything. I'd rather get this ass whooping over with, and I'm going to fucking hurt him in the midst of it. I'm going to pop him in the nose. I'm going to poke an eye or bite something. I'm going to do whatever I can do to hurt this guy. And he's not going to want this again. I'm never going to want it again, but he's not going to fuck with me anymore. And like, I shoved the guy in the chest. I'm like, fucking let's do it. Come on then. Fucking let's do it. And I just start locking up, and I'm able to talk. It sort of fizzles out and we go our separate ways, but I barely was able to walk away. I go to the bathroom and just sat on the toilet with like my pants on, with like my and just trembling. And I'm like, what is going on? I'm not afraid. I wasn't afraid of him. I was just so stressed out. My body was just giving up. And I remember watching Sopranos for the first time. I don't remember when, but when I was an adult, and it really made me feel better about having panic attacks. That Tony Soprano, you know, the big bad gangster, the head of the crime family, had this same problem. And then watching, you know, I never went to therapy, but watching him go to a make-believe therapist, you know, shed a little bit of light on like what my issues were. I thought that was pretty cool. But
Was
yeah,
there
Dream
like a
Fahrenheit,
trend of the kind of stimuli you experienced that always triggered it?
it's
or was it-
extreme stress. It's extreme stress. It could be physical or like situational, but it's extreme stress situations. Anything like that. My dad was yelling at me one time when I was like 18, and just having a really big argument, and I had a panic attack then. But then, of course, I had that panic attack in court that time when they were saying that my concealed carry permit wasn't legitimate, and they were talking about like putting me in jail for just, you know, open carrying my pistol. And I know I'm in the right, but this judge isn't hearing it. I had a panic attack then, and they had to drag me out of the courtroom. Not drag me, but carry me, really. It's been all kinds of stuff.
I'm so glad I've never had something like that.
That's the biggest thing that happened to me, which because like I would hear those stories and be like, man, come on, bro. But like when you have one, I guess it's just the ignorance, man. But when you have one, it physically enables you. Like there's nothing you could do. Like
your body quits.
You can't think your way out of it. You can try, but it's just like you just have to let it take its course. And to not know it's a panic attack is the scariest shit. When you know, it's the kind of like, okay, I know what's going on. I know this will pass. But like if it's your first time, you think you're gonna die.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fucking scary. I passed out one time outside on concrete, and when I don't remember hitting the ground, but I remember waking up, and like I had, you know, when you're awake and you fall, like we've got like some programming in us that makes us fall right for the most part, and you know, roll and not take any injuries. But I fell hard. I went like elbow first in the concrete, and then hit my head, and I wake up, and I'm like, oh, fuck, fuck, I'm all bleeding and shit. Like those are the worst.
Yeah, that sucks. Have you ever had that, Woody?
No.